We really appreciate you making time today, Glenn, especially given the circumstances. Just yesterday, you disclosed to investors and your employees that you have tested positive for coronavirus. How are you feeling right now?
Well, thank you, Seema, for having me on. And I feel fine. I feel great. I haven't had a symptom in many, many days. I got tested last Thursday. I didn't find the results until 2 nights ago. In between tested and getting the results, all the symptoms resolved. So I am absolutely fine.
Yeah, certainly glad to hear that you are doing well. You have a unique lens into the world of travel, bookings on hotels, flights, short-term rentals. As you look at longer-term bookings, what does it really tell you about consumers and how confident they feel about taking a summer vacation right now?
Well, I think that people are scared. I mean, it's very natural right now. People are much more concerned in terms of their immediate needs. You have people that are more concerned about, am I going to have a job? Am I going to get sick? Is somebody in my family going to get sick? Those are real concerns. And they're thinking about that a lot more than about, hey, am I going to go away in July somewhere or not? That's the basic thing. And I totally feel for everybody. Having been through this myself, I know this is nothing to laugh about. And I've been so fortunate, so lucky to come right out of it. But I know there are a lot of other people who are not coming out quite as easily. And I really, really am sympathetic for them. And I get it. They're not thinking about travel right now.
Yeah, and I imagine your personal experience battling coronavirus, although, as you say, you only experienced mild symptoms. How has that changed the way you think about your 27,000 employees, retention, especially as many of your peers have started to furlough employees?
Yeah, look, the first thing is always safety. And having announced that I was positive, I got such a number of emails and all sorts of notes from my employees saying, thank you so much. I had it. I was afraid to tell anybody. I was concerned. And everybody should know this is not anything but a disease. Anybody can get it. And if you have the issue of the virus, you need to get help. Make sure to reach out and not feel ashamed or any reason you're afraid to ask. That's the first thing. Now, of course, after people are done worrying about their health, they worry about their jobs, too. Look, this industry is taking it harder than any other industry. People are losing their jobs left and right, and that's why we need the government to step up and help support the travel industry. We probably took it first, and we're probably the last ones who are going to get out because people are going to be concerned about traveling. I know there's going to be travel again. We all know that. It's just how fast. And in between the time we are now having this terrible problem and the future when people are going to start traveling again, we need some support to make sure we can get over this bad period.
Glenn, Jim Cramer, I'm glad that you're feeling well. It's terrific. We need some stories like yours because everyone reads the other ones. Hey, let me ask you, Open Table, 54,000 plus restaurants worldwide. How many are open and not for takeout? How many are actually open?
Very, very few. I look at those numbers, and yes, there are some places that are still open, and we do see an occasional reservation here and there. And I look at that and I wonder sometimes, do those people, are they obeying what the local jurisdictions are telling them about not going out or not? The truth is, though, people will go back to restaurants, too. And that's where support is needed also, because we know that this is a temporary period and we need help and support for those small business people, those small restaurants, that they don't have a lot of cash flow. They don't have a lot of savings in the bank. We need to help support them so that when people are ready to go out and dine again, that there are restaurants to go to.
Glenn, we were talking to the head of Spirit Airlines yesterday. His point was, much like you said, vacation travel eventually will return because nobody's going to take a vacation on Zoom, as he put it. But he is worried about corporate travel. And when you have Goldman with 98% of workers working from home, how much do you think about whether or not companies decide they need their workers to fly?
Yeah, that's a real interesting question because we also went from what was very, very minimal video technology in our industry and people really wanted to press the flesh. We're a travel company. We like to travel and meet with each other. In our company, almost 27,000 employees, and almost everybody is now working virtually. We got up 10,000 customer service people working centers to work from home. I mean, it's just an amazing thing to be able to accomplish that. Now the question is, hey, should we be spending so much money on flying around, traveling? Maybe we shouldn't spend so much doing that because this seems to work. So I think there is the potential for significant changes in the way people do corporate travel. But in terms of leisure, absolutely correct that people are going to want to actually be there. It's nice to see pictures. It's better to be there.
Glenn, it's Sarah. What do you make of the new CARES Act from Congress, and how much relief will it provide to you potentially and to your industry, like the hotels, obviously like the airlines? Is more needed?
Well, I think it's a great start. Let's start right away. Great thing, government getting up, getting that money to work for our very hard-pressed airline people, the hotel industry. Really great. And I'm so thankful for the president, Secretary of Treasury, Senator Schumer, Speaker Pelosi. Just fantastic. Getting that up and running is great. But we're going to need more. And I'll just put it very bluntly. We are going to need more, and I'm glad to hear they're already working on another package. Because when you have zero revenue, which is what a lot of these airlines are getting from it, zero revenues is not the way to run a business. And they are going to need support for some time so that when people can travel again, there's actually airlines to go travel with. For ourselves, we're looking at it very closely. We're looking at the details. We're not sure whether it'll apply to whether we need it or not. We have to find out all the regulations, how it's going to work before we'll either take or not take money. And it's not just the U.S., by the way. We're global. We operate in over 220 countries and territories around the world. We've got 300 offices. Governments from around the world are stepping up and putting money to work to help support different industries that are very badly affected. Europe's doing it. India's doing it. All the governments around the world are doing it, and that's really great. But I want to make it very clear that this is just the early stage. There's still going to be a lot of issues economically for some time, and we'll need that support even more so in the future.